Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in a meme wagon, and that is the Cromwell. But it's not any ordinary Cromwell, and if you've been round here before, you know my love of derp guns, and you know my love of the Derpwell. You know what the saying is? It's the key saying for this tank, and that is the only Derpwell, right? Derpwell is the only way to Cromwell. Yeah, it is. Anyway, the Derpwell is so much fun. I love it. I mean, the shell velocity is memes in itself. I mean, some of the stuff that you can pull off in this tank is just hilarious. Like, obviously, using the other gun makes this tank better, but it's not as fun as it. Let's be honest. This derp gun is just like top-notch memes. I mean, it's brilliant just to watch your shells go. You know, what's not more fun than that? I mean, I think the only tank that has a worse shell velocity than this is the Crusader before it, with like 128 meters a second, I think it is. Which, yeah. So we've loaded heat in this tank because there is a secret to this tank, and that is how filthy these heat rounds are. It's another one. I mean, you've seen the KV-1S the other day. Loaded those heat rounds. Now, those heat rounds are pure filth. These ones are filthy in the right situation. And as you see, we completely decimated that poor M4 improved. Not really improved, but we decimated it with the heat rounds. Oh, but they've only... Right, okay, the KV-1S, right? The heat rounds on the KV-1S are filthy because it's got 140 pen and it's like 360. These, again, I think these are 270 pen, 270 damage on average, but they got 110 pen. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means generally that they will pen the lightly armoured stuff, like all the M4 Shermans that we're seeing in that Chi Nu at the minute, or Cheeto, whichever one it was Chi Nu. Which means they'll pen all those. Like, the Chi isn't always going to go in against these guys. So this heat is filthy. But it's not just that, right? You've got like a 5-second reload for 270 at tier 6. Like, no, it's 5.54 reload. We reload like a second slower than that Firefly who has 150 damage. That's what the memes are. The heat rounds are filthy and it's great. Now, obviously, like I say, you have got the burden that you've got a slower shell velocity at like 200 and something, which is, I don't need to tell you, it's bloody awful. But 110 pen as well is also pretty poor. But like I say, if you get the sides of tanks and you get weakly armoured tanks like the M4s and all the different Sherman variants that you see at this tier, it can be hilarious. And the HE as well has 380 pen. Not 380, but oh man, imagine if it had 380 pen. That would be memes. No, it's got 380 damage with like 38 pen. And to be honest, when it pens, especially for a 5.54 reload, it really hurts. Like, it's really quite surprising, this gun, actually quite how good it is if you can use it right. Because obviously the key question is using it right? Right? Yeah. You've got to be able to... As I say, that's the difference between this and using the Derpwell, or the Cromwell, I should say. I mean, this is the Derpwell, in using the Cromwell. Because if you use the Cromwell, you could probably, as well as that gun is derpy for me anyway, it's a much more medium to long range engager, basically, unless you're circling people, obviously. Whereas this gun, you need to be in people's face. Look at that shot. Aimed it at his chassis, at his engine deck, and ends up hitting the top of his turret. Because shell velocity. This gun, man is brilliant. But yeah, so, you know, you want to be up close and personal, and brawling in this tank with this gun is a lot easier. Now, obviously, as well, you're not having to worry about penning things. So when you see tier 8s, the amount of tracking damage you can get is great. So you can really farm tracking. But the thing is, as well, the Cromwell also plays like a pseudo-scout. Always has. So you can actually just play like a scout quite easily. Like, you see this game, we've got 16 shots, 5, 14 hits, 12 pens, or 12 damaging hits is probably more the way of looking at it with a derp gun, right? And we got 1700 assist, and that's because we were just spotting people, which is great because, you know, it's always nice to have a tank that doesn't have to just rely on its gun. You can also do other things like the scouting. So, I'm saying about Brawling, right? We've got Westfield, and it's Westfield Assault. No, is it Assault? No, it's Team Destruction, isn't it? Team Destruction, there is Assault on this map, but it's the other spawns. And that means that everybody spawns on top of this hill. And this is actually perfect for Derpwell, right? Because this ridgeline up here is really effective for it. If you've seen my Rheinmetall Panzerwagen video from quite a while ago now, you'll see how I put this ridgeline to good effect with that tank when we got exactly the same game mode. And, you know, it's what you need to do. We penned that guy for 300... I don't know what he was doing, but we penned him for 391. Ouch. But yeah, you can put this ridgeline to great effect because they aren't always engaging with you, pretty much. So as you can see, we've loaded heat, right? And we're just, at the minute, auto-aiming and firing over this ridgeline because that is something that this tank can do, right? And that is, I don't have to poke all the way over the ridgeline because of the absolutely horrific shell velocity. I can legit just keep auto-aiming and firing and never coming above the ridgeline so that they can actually shoot me. And that is hilarious, right? So, these guys are just getting wrecked by this heat. And this is where this heat's nice, because we've got the sides of tanks that haven't got that great side armour, really. So we just wrecked that Tiger 1. That poor guy. And we're aiming for the side of that guy's turret now with this. And that KV2's coming over. It's like, nope. Nope, don't want it. Nope. Let's try and pull back to avoid him. But he gives us the side of his turret, look. 257 straight in. And we've done, in 8 shots, 2k damage. And it's racking up. And like I said, that's just because of how good the DPM is if you use the heat, right? And pen the heat consistent like we did. It's great. Now we've run out of heat. I mean, that's one thing with this gun is if you are firing a lot and firing quickly, you will run out of ammo very quickly and quite a lot. So I only carry 10 rounds of heat, even though it is filthy, because the amount of times that you have the heat rounds and they just don't do anything, right? They're not effective. It's quite a lot. So I've got the heat round, the HE rounds left, so I don't have to particularly worry about aiming, just hitting, really, now. And you can see the HE doesn't really do much when it splashes, or we're only doing like 40. 2! We did. He felt that damage. 2 damage for that only. Big boy numbers. But there we go, 93. I mean, it's a really inconsistent derp gun for HE splash. Just because it's not a very big caliber. And that is one of the, I mean, that's one of the key factors of a derp gun, isn't it, really, is the caliber. That generally influences how much you're going to hit people for. So we've dealt with that flank really quickly, just because of the heat rounds and being able to pop over that shots over those guys and not get shot back, for instance. And we've now got a Fly VC, which is basically a Sherman Firefly, but actually better. Because it's got like better soft stats and slightly better everything, really, is in a premium tank. But again, it's the perfect tank. It's what you want to see because we can damage that guy very easily. And he's not the most oil armoured, so it's not like shooting an Oni, which is great. Got the Jagdpanther here. Pop a nice shot into his side for 130. I'm being wary though because he is a Jagdpanther, and I think he's got the stubby 105, so he'll bend me. He'll hurt me quite a lot. So we don't want that. And now we're looking at the A44 again. He's got the big gun, so the A44 will hurt me. Again, he will kill me in one shot, so I'm being a bit more cautious about this. I'm more aiming the shots over the ridgeline and trying to hit him with it, but he's solely focused on me, so it's like, okay, no, not doing that. Let's ignore this guy, and let's go for the Jagdpanther again. Unfortunately, we hit the floor, because, I mean, it's a derp gun, so it's not actually accurate. And then we shut down the Jagdpanther. So we're on to 3 kills and 3k damage, and we're just hoping to get a shot on that guy, and then physics gets involved. Doesn't everybody love physics? I mean, action replay time, right? Yeah, physics. Great. So, we ended that game anyway, despite physics. We got a high caliber, ace tanker Confederate, 3k damage, 716 assists, and it was the perfect scenario for this tank. Like, you could just pop shots over that ridge line and just wreck them with the great DPM this tank has if you actually pen the shots. I can't like specify enough how much you can wreck the enemy team and how quickly you can do it if you use those heat rounds to great effect. But that's the Derpwell anyway. I love the Derpwell. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.